I wanted to explain about thought and afterthought before we get into it, So, when something appears, I'll give you an example. Everybody see that? When something appears, in the first instance, you just see it. Right? Then you go, what is that? Right? And you try to classify it, you try to figure out what the hell is it. I hope that happened for you. Unless you've got one of these and you don't know what it is. I'm going to keep you in suspense till the end. no. Anyway, so it's a salt grinder thing, or pepper actually in this case. It's a tea, putting pepper over the keyboard. So a lot of the time you'll hear Tibetan lamas using this word thought, and they mean afterthought. They don't mean the initial appearance of something. They mean afterthought. So we would only have one word for both of these. We will call this thought, it appears, we call that a thought, right? And then we also call identifying it a thought, right? So I've changed some of the stuff. I've changed it in two places. Where a lama says thought, I just say afterthought, and I hope that makes it clearer. Okay. So far, so good. So there's a prayer that we sometimes say, and if you know it, you're welcome to join in. May all sentient beings enjoy happiness and the causes of happiness. Be free from suffering and the causes of suffering. May they never be separated from true happiness devoid of suffering, and may they dwell in boundless equanimity, free from attachment and aversion. So, you may have said this, like me, many, many times in the past, for years, and then one day, it hit me, True happiness, devoid of suffering. May they never be separated from true happiness, devoid of suffering. And I think most people would think, well, look, that's not possible. This is fantasy stuff. This is some kind of Buddhist propaganda, And fair enough, you're entitled to your opinion. But if you were to ask a realized person, like Tulku Urgyen, is that possible? And he would say, sure. And then he would freak you out, because he would say, and if it really was Tulku Urgyen, he would say, it's your natural condition. You just need to discover that. So, this will remind you of something I said not that long ago, but Tulku Urgyen once gave this instruction, and we can do it as: look at the area around you with all your senses open, seeing all the objects, feeling all the sensations. Don't block anything. Can you sense that openness, that simple awareness of the things you see, hear, and feel? Now, slowly turn that same awareness to the mind that perceives these things openly. Instead of looking at outer space, look at inner space. And this is what we call looking. So in that moment of looking, you may notice something. It's called free in the moment of seeing. And he commented on that. He said, free in the moment of seeing means that the very moment of seeing your own nature, there is no afterthought. Afterthought has vanished. That's called seeing. So you have look, see. I'll read that one again because I think it's important. The very moment of seeing your own nature, there is no afterthought. The very moment that you turn your attention towards your own mind, it is evident that it is simply an empty cognizance with no thing whatsoever. Simply an empty cognizance. It is empty. It is empty. But yet, there is the seeing of that. There is the seeing of that emptiness and the appearance, because mind is also cognizant. Sometimes we don't believe that this is really it, because it's too easy. There's nothing easier than this, just like that. So if you just rest in that open and aware experience, which is called remaining. So you've got look, see, remain. If you rest in that open and aware experience, all risings keep liberating by themselves. This is called liberating. This is the discovery of true happiness, devoid of suffering, free from attachment and aversion, resting in that open awareness. Nothing sticks, yet everything is there. Even thoughts are just simply this empty cognizance. Nothing sticks. So look into your mind. See what's happening. Rest. You don't have to liberate anything. It liberates. No matter what it is that comes into your mind, look, see what it actually is. Remain. Resting. Look. See what it is. Rest. Mind free of afterthought. But when afterthought comes, look, see its nature and rest. So let me read you a little thing that Sonia Rinpoche said about when his dad, Tulku Urgyen introduced him in this way. He said, "For a brief second or so, I had a direct experience of what in the Buddhist tradition is known as the nature of mind. A luminous, limitless awareness that is not chopped up into object and subject, self and other, perceiver and perceived. A luminous, limitless awareness. All distinctions between the looker and what was being looked at fell away. And for an instant I experienced a complete lack of separation between everything I felt, saw, smelled and so on, and the awareness that saw, smelled, felt. At that moment, even the effort involved in being mindful of something dissolved, and mindfulness became effortless. The clarity, openness, and warmth simply was there.